Kicking off the 7 o'clock hour with a live look outside right now. This is in Boulder, looking at the Flatirons. Beautiful start to the day, but another air quality alert is in place until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Drew Carney. We'll get this hour's first traffic update with Brianna in just a minute. But first, we turn to the Tuesday forecast. Katie, we've got another heat up today before that long extended cool down.
Cool down and some wetter weather. Even just that shot there from Boulder, it's beautiful, but it's brown, it is dry. We could really use some precipitation here across Colorado, and we are bracing for more of it. But today, a pretty dry afternoon with just a few gusty storms and brief showers with temperatures, yes, on the rise. We're heating up right again in the low 70s right now, but 90s later on today from Boulder to Broomfield to downtown Denver. It's going to be a toasty one. A few isolated thunderstorms and brief showers in the forecast with areas of patchy smoke and air quality alerts, improving air quality, cooler weather, and also a better chance for rain in the coming days. This morning, though, it is dry. We're in the 40s and 50s from Breckenridge to Vail, 72 degrees in Boulder currently. It's a very mild start to our morning, and our forecast later on today, we're expecting 90s, and we'll hit 90 degrees by 11 a.m. A quick warm up ahead. 95 is the expected. That's well above our average of 88 and 100 in Greeley this afternoon. Triple digits also extending over southern Colorado, Pueblo, and east. We have another day of a heat advisory down south, and our mountains also slightly above average. Taking us into 1 o'clock this afternoon, Denver and west building cloud coverage, dry at that point. A few spotty rain showers, not a lot of widespread heavy rain by any means. Gusty winds, though, at times, and a low risk of any severe storm activity. Will be partly to mostly cloudy this evening, clearing skies overnight. We'll talk more about just how much rain we're anticipating to see, but the rain chances increase for tomorrow afternoon and temperatures cool starting on Thursday. Brianna?
And still keeping an eye on this crash. If you're just tuning in, this is a crash that we've been tracking since around 6 a.m. this morning along Vasquez, just south of 270, happening right at the intersection of 56 at Vasquez. So we still have Commerce City Police and South Adams Fire. They are on scene, blocking several right lanes for anyone taking Vasquez this morning. And then we were also seeing some exit ramp restrictions because, again, this is happening just south of 270. Please keep that in mind. This crash has been going on for the past hour or so, and we're still seeing significant slowdowns, especially if you are taking 270 this morning, and then you could just see the traffic buildup that we're seeing for anyone taking Vasquez Boulevard. Now, I want to switch things over to our main maps and get to your drive times. That is the only crash that I'm tracking here in your traffic impact center. We're seeing that morning rush hour traffic northbound 225 as well as southbound 225, so you are looking at a 16-minute drive.
Brianna, thank you. The Red Cross is helping 7 people who were out of their homes after a fire broke out in Aurora. Aurora Fire says the fire involved 2 homes on East Alaska Avenue, just south of East Alameda Avenue, around 7:30 last night. Crews tell us they saw the fire as they were driving along Alameda and then responded to it without answering any 911 calls.
What it looks like in our call records is that the fire engine was arriving around the same time that people were calling 911 to report this. But certainly helpful to have observant firefighters driving around, always looking for opportunities to help. And this is one of those unique examples where the firefighters were able to help and were much needed when they arrived.
Luckily, the flames were out within an hour and no one got hurt. The fire is now under investigation.
Investigators are also working to determine what caused a grass fire in Greeley that killed a woman and seriously injured a man this past weekend. This morning, we're hearing from the mother of the woman who died. Tammy McKee says that her daughter, Desiree, was living at a homeless encampment with her boyfriend when those flames took over. She believes he tried to save her from the fire. McKee also told us that her daughter was 45 years old, but she still considered Desiree her little girl.
I want him to know I appreciate what he did for me to try to get my daughter out of there. And I don't want him feeling bad or anything because he couldn't, because he's a very generous soul.
The last update we received showed that the man injured in the fire was in critical condition. Both Greeley Fire and police are investigating. Anyone with information about this is asked to call the police department.
Well, that woman's death in Greeley is calling attention to the rapid and unpredictable nature of grass fires. We talked with Strasburg Fire. They tell us grass fires can spread as quickly as 10 feet per second. In windy conditions, the fire can spread almost instantly, making it difficult to fight or escape, even for seasoned firefighters.
Now put that to a civilian who may be inadvertently trapped in one of those with the super fire or super rapid spread of the fire and potentially extreme smoke conditions. It just creates an extreme risk to anybody involved.
According to the National Fire Protection Association, about 70% of all fires in the U.S. are brush or grass fires.
A festival in Colorado took an unexpected turn this past weekend when a bounce house went airborne. So take a look at these pictures. A microburst hit north of Greeley Saturday afternoon, and it hit right in the middle of this festival there. Strong winds picked up, sent a bounce house flying through the air and straight into another vendor.
When it hit me, it just felt like a brick wall, and I just remember thinking, oh, this is actually serious. I don't remember hitting the ground.
That was Joanna Emery, who was selling her homemade jams at the festival when she says her booth was absolutely destroyed. She says she is grateful no kids were hurt during the incident, and she's also thankful that community members stepped up to help her with the cleanup.
Boulder Valley students will start heading back to class tomorrow, but today the Board of Education is set to talk about a potential policy change. It comes after a federal civil rights complaint against the district claiming anti-Semitic harassment was going on. Now, news reporter Mackenzie Stafford is joining us live right now. Mackenzie, how long does this civil suit allege the harassment was happening?
Corey, for nearly 2 years, according to this complaint filed by the Anti-Defamation League, that student graduated 8th grade earlier this year here at Southern Hills Middle School. Now, the complaint alleges that students were using anti-Semitic slurs, made comments about Jewish people being, quote, dirty, and told the student that Hitler should have killed all Jews. It also describes an incident in which a classmate allegedly threw a laptop charging cord around the student's neck and dragged him from a chair while using an anti-Semitic slur. The ADL claims that school officials were repeatedly notified but failed to effectively stop the harassment.
And to be clear, these were not one-off incidents, right? There was a pattern and escalation of anti-Semitic harassment and discrimination that the school did not address thoroughly.
Now, after that complaint was filed, the superintendent said that there would be corrective action taken. Now, we will be sure to let you know what happens tonight in the school board meeting. Live in Boulder, Mackenzie Stafford, 9 News.
All right, thanks, Mackenzie. New this morning, leaders in Douglas County are expected to vote yes today on a more than $19 million tax rebate for a new data center that's under construction right now in Parker. According to our partners at the Denver Gazette, the proposed agreement would provide a rebate for the county's share of the property taxes generated by this facility over the next 35 years. Despite community backlash, the data center is expected to generate more than $500,000 each year in local revenue. Officials in Parker hope that money can go towards open space programs and other infrastructure projects.
Artificial intelligence is supposed to speed up customer service, but what happens when AI gets it wrong? Now, news reporter Marshall Zellinger bought a shirt online that he needed to return. The return policy called for money to be subtracted for the printing label. He asked for a full refund. One email told him he'd get it and to keep or to donate the shirt. 4 hours later, a second email told him to send it back. When he pushed back on the conflicting answers, he was told the first one came from AI and it was not accurate.
They shouldn't promise anything and then run it by someone and they say, hey, my mistake, it was an AI problem, it was not me.
We absolutely need to modernize our laws to reflect the reality that things that used to be done by humans are now being done by algorithms.
Colorado is not one of the states that requires AI disclosure in all interactions. In 2027, a new law takes effect requiring certain AI disclosures when chatbots talk with children.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife says the state's port of entry is helping protect against aquatic nuisance species more than ever before. The agency says these ports are really the first line of defense. Boats are inspected for mussels, debris, and standing water as they enter. If it's carrying any of these invasive species or has the potential to, it must be decontaminated before hitting the road again. CPW says these inspections are crucial to keeping the water safe.
We take this very seriously. Even one boat that's transporting invasive mussels into the lake could have significant, long-lasting impacts to our water resources.
So if you do go boating, you have to make sure to clean, drain, and dry everything that comes in contact with the water. And if you see something, you shouldn't touch it. Simply report it to CPW.